Oh, perfect. Hi, guys. I think live. And I'm saying happy because for 2 seconds there, I was like, oh my God. And you're going to see me, I'm all, all bristle. It's because it's not seasons here. So don't mind my hair. Okay. Um, no, it's true. It's spring here in Toronto, and I happen to have the worst allergies. So if you see me a little bit loopy, because I took something, so I won't drip on the layout today. So, hello everyone. I'm Nathalie D'Souza. I'm part of the video design team for Pinterest Studio, and I'm going to be your host for the day. So before we go into everything, Heather, I hope it's Heather. So welcome everyone. If you have been here before, then you know that, and you're gonna see that I have things everywhere because I've been working on a lot of things. If you've been here before, please let us know where you're watching from. We love to know, where you're from. If you've been here before, then you know the drill that we love to see you again. So welcome. I'm stretching. That's it, guys. Like seriously, today I have the idea. Everything is prepped. You're gonna see once I flip it quite a bit. But like I said, this is happening. Okay, so I had to do a voiceover for Pinterest Studio for a project that's coming up, and I had to redo it 3 times. And I was thinking, why did that sound? And it wasn't the sound. It was just me being very stuffy. I call it snot season because allergies are happening here. Everything is flowering here in Toronto, which is beautiful. We're not at the ugly stage of spring. We're at the beautiful stage of spring, which means there's a lot of pollen happening, and pollen and I don't get along, certain amount of pollen. So it is not the greatest of times, but we're going to go through this. So welcome everyone. It's cool. I'm so happy to see you. I am going to flip the camera in a little bit, but we're going to talk we're going to make sure that everybody can find us before we do that. So I'm just double checking, making sure my volumes are off. I know this one is off. So I'm going to reach in front of the computer just to make sure that the volume in the computer is off too. And it's not. Okay, so we're there. Hi, Kathleen. Hello, Francis, Jennifer, Jane. Okay, and then also, in case you have never seen before, it's not that I'm ignoring you in the next 2 minutes. I'm going to flip the camera, and it's going to be a little bit hard for me to see the comments, but Heather's here to help you. So a few things we're going to touch base before we flip the cameras. Make sure you check the promotions for Pinterest Studio. You still have time to enter the monthly challenge. You still have time to enter the International Scrapbooking Day Challenge. There's a lot of prizes to be given out. So I'm not going to go through each one of them. Check the blog, and you can find everything there. So I think I've done my little part. I think everybody can find me now. We'll be in 5 minutes. Hello, everyone, in case I missed you. We are going to flip the camera now. And like I said, if I'm a little bit loopy more than usual, it's because I took something so I won't drip on the computer with all my project. But it's called snot season, not allergy season. Okay, so we're gonna flip the camera. There we go. So you're gonna see that I have quite a bit worked up here, and I lost my slipper. There you go. That just tells you what kind of day it's been. So work on a Mother's Day project. So you're gonna see that I have a mess on my table, which is true. I have a mess on my table. So I'm just cleaning up a bit here because, like I said, I did a little bit of work ahead of time. I have the idea on my brain, as always. My ideas are always on my brain, thinking, hopefully this comes out, but it will. So when I thought about today, I thought, what can we use? I don't know if your mother's like that, if you're blessed to have your mother with you still. I happen to have mine with me, and she lives with us. But my mother is huge on pictures. Maybe that's why I love documenting so much. We always had a camera in front of us when we were little. And she loves pictures and stuff like that. So based on her love of pictures, I thought, what if I create a frame for a layout? Those type of layouts that you can either put in your album or you can frame. Let's hope. Okay. So I'm went through all this stuff thinking, okay, let me look at what's in the shop, what I have at home, what can we create with this? So what are we going to use today? Well, I have my ephemera here. Let me set it aside. Because remember, my table is magical. My table likes to eat things up when in the middle of the project, and then I freak out. So let's go in parts. So the first thing I'm going to use, here it is. This is the slim ornate, a slim edger. Sorry, this is the slimline edger. I'm gonna pull it out. And this is cut like edges, literally what it is. It cut edges of your paper. So I thought this will create a nice frame. Of course, I went and played with paper because that's what I do great. And I went like outside of the camera. I'm not gonna show you anything that comes with die cutting today, but I didn't like, fully create the project either so that I can work it with you. So I cut the paper. This is called Spring from Flower Market, and it's this paper here. And this paper that has the cut apart on the A side, and the B side is the white with the gray polka dots. So I cut this paper. I believe it's 9 inches in length, and it's only like 1.25 inches in width. And I use this edger to create. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Like I said, I did a little bit of work ahead of time because you guys know that my projects I do a little bit of work ahead so that we can complete. So you're going to see that's my edger. Like I said, it's around 1.25 inch-ish, okay? And it's 9 inches in length, and I'm just going to trim it right there, okay? And then I am using Flower Market, and this paper is called Daisy. This is the one that has like the coral with the white daisies on the one side, and then you have the kind of a check on the other side, green. So I don't need my branding bars. I saved them because I knew, so I wouldn't forget. And I use this edge here. I love the stitch detail, and it's more like a more linear one. So I thought that they were like layered nicely. So for this one, I cut, this is 10 inches, which might be a little bit too big, to be honest with you. And this is around 1 3/4 because I wanted something a little bit thicker. And I line it up just at the edge here. So there was some leftover on the side here. Okay, that's how I die cut all my pieces. So now that you see my part, let's put it away. Because again, I don't even have a leprechaun here, but my table likes to eat things. So I'm gonna set this aside. And off you go. So my idea, and I actually have a white cardstock here because I thought that that'd be a great idea for this. So I want everything to show nicely, and I think white is gonna make everything pop. You can use a color one, you can use pattern paper. If you're gonna use pattern paper, I'll suggest something really plain, something very solid for this. So, and then you know what, I forgot to mention because I just saw it whether you share this stream today's, or you comment along, the chat. Heather will pick up a winner at the end of the session for a gift certificate for $15 to the shop that you can use to purchase all the beautiful things and some of the stuff that we're going to use today. So my idea, like I said, remember, I want a frame for my layout. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, this is exactly 10 inches by 1 3/4. I line up my edge on the right edge. I am actually going to cut it so that it has leftover here. Okay. I haven't played with this. I have the idea. I played with a mock of it, while I was working with this. So I think it should work, but I might change my mind. So my idea is let's create the frame with the pattern paper. So you're going to need a ruler and a T ruler. So if you have 2 rulers, even better. Okay. So let's go. And that just makes a great frame. You can either do it, again, inside, and then you have the decorative edge towards the inside of your frame, or you can do it to the outside, which is what I'm going to do. I want the edge to be outside. I want the inside to be nice and clean because it's when I put my pictures in there. Okay, so let's see. And like I said, I cut the 10 inches. I might trim it shorter. So I always like to, create my projects and just to be safe. I want to be safe, make sure that, I'm not missing anything. So I'm going to just line up my idea. These edges are going to go. So don't stress that, there's not a clean edge. Trust me, I'm stressing on that too. So, and if you know me, you guys know that I have a little bit of OCD when it comes to straight lines and edges and stuff like that. So just see what the idea looks like. So you see, I already have a frame, just created off the edges. So make sure, one of the things, I play with quite a few papers, by the way, when I, went through this. I realized that I wanted something that was going to create like kind of a seamless pattern when we put together. That's what I chose, the plaid. You can choose a flower one, you can choose a lot of pattern paper, but if you want the edges to show, choose something a little bit on the plainer side or on a solid side, just so then you see the edges showing up. So just so you see, like we haven't glued anything yet. Like I said, we are going to trim stuff. And then this one here, which is the one that I use the other edger, this is 9 inches in length, I remember clearly, and 1.25 inches in width. So I want to layer this on top just to add a little bit of like extra effect onto it. I can also, like I said, I play with a lot of ideas, guys. Don't think that, we prep for this. I was thinking maybe I can do this. I don't like it. I'm going to be honest. I don't like it. But to each his own. If you like it, go ahead. Personal choice, not my favorite part, but I like it like this. So I'm going to layer, create like, a layer inside of like a frame inside the other one. That was my idea. So I'm just going to, like, again, nothing is glued. Nothing is like, nothing is set in stone yet. Because remember, when we come to create a project, we have ideas, and that happens to anybody that creates live, most of the time, you have an idea, you know what you're going to create, but sometimes you need to pivot because things don't, like, we live in a real world. Things change sometimes. Okay, so you see how I'm creating my little frame here? So then we have to make decisions. So here we go. So more or less the idea. So you have a frame within a frame. Okay? Super simple, but then I want to add, like I said, and that's one of the reasons why I went with something very plain and very linear. So then my pictures are going to show nicely in the center. Not in the center. I'm going to put them towards the bottom. And I did not glue my frame because I know that I'm probably going to have to make it a little bit shorter. Okay? So I want my pictures here. So just that I know exactly where I'm going to go with this. So these are 3x4s. I made them big, so in case you want to use a 4x6, you have an idea what it looks like. So let me just move this back and let's secure the frame before we can go into anything else. So I think it's taking a lot of space. I want to kind of shorten it a little bit more. So let me see how I'm going to do this. You know what I realized? The camera's a little bit off, So I'm going to move it a bit so it's better centered. There you go. So I think that one of the things is I'm going to start gluing this in place. I'm going to trim these edges. They're just not giving me what I have, the idea that I have in my brain. So I'm going to take this and I am going to trim it. And literally, guys, I'm praying that I keep it nice and straight. Okay, so I'm going to cut it right at the edge where the edge are finished. And I don't mind if the frame has little wonky edges, on the corners, as long as it doesn't give me that overlap that I'm gonna have a hard time, showing you how to camouflage. I'm being honest here. I'm just gonna trim here right where the edge are finished. That's where I'm trimming my borders. So here we go. And like I said, even though I cut this 1 3/4 for the green one, so might be ish. Okay, I had a leftover piece of this daisy paper, so I was like, oh, let's try to pull all of them from here. And I'm sure that you guys are gonna do the same thing. But this is a great idea to use all those edges that you have in your in your collections, which I'm sure you guys have. I'm not the only one that has quite a few. Say yes. So here we go. Let me see, I'm just gonna trim this. I'm trying to make sure that it kind of centered. And it's there we go. Cut this because these little edges were driving me insane. There we go. Much better. Okay, yeah, but let's play with this idea. Okay, I like that better already. I need to trim that a little bit there. but I like this much, much better. And it kind of shortened it without having those edges at the end. It kind of made it a little bit shorter. It kind of tightened this whole frame idea up a little bit more. So I'm going to move it higher. Just trying to follow here. Just cut it to the edge. And don't stress, like, you know, you can see the corners. Wait, like, again, not everything is so perfect, guys. I'm trying to, trust me, it's going to drive me insane to see those corners. But I'm going to try to camouflage it with the other one. Like I said, I have the idea. I'm just trying to work it out here. So I'm going to have to open it a bit more. Just trying to make this match. There we go. Oh, if you see me here, if I'm going quiet, it's not because I'm ignoring you or anything. I'm just trying to work the idea out. So I'm trying to make sure like this line kind of creates like a continuous line. There we go. I think we got it. And it's going to require you to use a ruler. That much I know. Because you want this frame to be straight. And I'm going to actually build it outside of the camera, outside of the pattern paper, so that I can use the grid on the background to help me. So you see, I have my frame. Okay. Now, this one here, it's going to go on top of it. And I think this is what's going to help me camouflage that edge a little bit. Okay. That's what I said. Try to find something that is a little bit more on the solid side of things, because it's going to help you when it comes to the, you know, the end result. Okay, I like that better. Still not like, you know, well, but it's better. So like I said, I'm going to build it outside of the pattern paper, the cardstock, because I can use the grid on my paper here to help me. So I'm going to go, like I said, this is around, I'm just going to try to center it here. So center it. There we go. So around 1 to 10, around 9 inches right now, this one. But you see here, there's this little edge here that is driving me insane. I'm going to go ahead and trim it. There we go. So we're going to center it. Let's get the other one. Remember, I have a grid here, and that's what I said. It's going to help me with this. I'm going to take it here, find the center line right there. Go with the other one, find the center line. That was a better idea to build this up, so you can see it better. And this one, same thing, find the center line. Okay, so you see my frame now. I think that helped a little bit better, like, you know, to see the idea. So I think it's overtaking the page. I'm going to shorten it a little bit. By that, I mean, I'm going to push it in. So I'm going to move it so that it sits at 10, like the tip of the edge here sits at 10 inches. Right there. And that's going to tighten everything right now. It's going to make the frame a little bit shorter. And again, that's personal choice. I want just the, you know, this to sit more in the center of the page. Okay, so just moving this here. I like this better. Okay, I'm just going to push this down a little bit more. Okay, I like that frame better. I can clean up the edges and camouflage it. Okay. Now I'm going to go with the other one. And this one is the one that is going to probably, you're going to have to push it to the edge. There we go. Now it makes more sense for me. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go top and bottom, right on the center. That's going to camouflage the edges over here, like it's like, you know, that I'm not enjoying. And I'm going to clean up. Don't worry about that. I think it's right there. Like I said, this is like ish. Okay, so don't, it's not going to be like the perfect that I love. So, but it is giving me a better idea what I like. So I'm using the edge there. And I'm going to trim the excess. It's just going to take. Okay, so I think that gives you a better idea how it's going to look like. I think it was better to bring it here than to, like, you know, to show you this. So now let's start gluing this in place. And I'm actually going to help myself with a little bit of tape. I am using, you can use washi tape for this. I am going to use a little bit of my mint tape because I have it handy. And like I said, you're going to need a ruler or you're going to need a grid, which is what I'm using right now here to help me with this. So I'm going to lightly lift up the edge here. I'm going to place it there. And this is going to be the most difficult part, building this frame. Because it's going to take you time to make sure that everything is like, lined up. Once you have this, it's going to like go super simple and it's going to run quickly actually. Okay, we're going to press there. Two sides are stuck together. We're going to do the same thing here. Some tape in place, straight line. Okay, let me get it there. I'm going to press at the edge here so it sticks together. And of course, don't shake the table like crazy like I did, so everything moves. Okay. Again, take another piece of washi tape. Washi tape will help you for now. Until you're not like settled, like, everything is clean and ready to glue, use some washi tape. Help yourself with some washi tape or some repositionable tape because you want to clean the edges. Like, even though it is looking better than what it was at the beginning, you want those clean edges. There we go. Just trying to make sure that everything, and you're going to need a grid or like rulers or something to help you with this. Okay. So I'm just trying to help myself here. Perfect. Squish. Oh, I forgot to put tape down here. Let's see if I do this. Commando move. Trying to make sure that it's ish. Okay. Word of the day. Okay, there's my frame. So now that I see it, I can clean up the edges. What I mean by that is, you see here, I'm going to put it closer to it. See how it doesn't match? So take a pair of scissors and like lightly trim the excess. So now you have semi-seamless frame. Okay, so don't give yourself some grace too. It's not going to be perfect. You can see it's coming undone. So make sure that you keep it together. Okay, let's go over here. Clean up those edges nicely so that it makes sense. Okay. See, I have my frame here. Still, like, there's those things there that, but it's working better. So now let's work with this. Again, put it right at the edge. It's going to help you. And so this is probably going to have to, like, we're going to have to do the same thing. So now, since we know this is going to stay like that, glue. Okay. There we go. And we'll try to hide the edges after. Don't worry. The seams, I mean, the seams. That's it. Seems the word, the right word. I'm going to say, like, my excuse when I was young and, like, I didn't know where I was, like, English is not my first language. So I'm hoping I'm saying it properly. So I'm going to use the same excuse now. I think the word seams. So here we go. Okay. See, now it's one single piece. You can, like, manipulate like that. If you want to make this a little bit sturdier, I didn't do that ahead of time, is add a little bit of cardstock underneath it. So you probably cut the same, the edges out of cardstock, but I didn't want to, like, add myself the extra work. So I'm going to once again line it up, line it to the inside edge and to, like, the tip here and cover some of the space in there. So you're going to have to, like, choose two sides. I'm going to choose these sides here. And that means that I might have to clean up that edge there. And then the only thing I'm not, like, loving is, like, when I put this here, yeah, it kind of, like, overlaps there. So I'm trying to think, how can I hide that? And I'm thinking that I might have to, like, kind of round it off here. So we might have to do a little bit of, what do you call it? Again, some surgery on these two. Okay. This one here, get some glue, hold it in place, add a bit of glue right here, right at the edge where it's gonna meet, sorry. Line it up to there. Don't worry about this, we're gonna trim it. I'm going to probably round it off a little bit, just to give it like, you know. So here. A little bit of glue there. See, this one moved, it didn't move, I moved. I moved this whole thing. So there we go. Like I told you, this is what's gonna take you the longest, is gonna be this part here. If you have issues like I do, like, you know, kind of make it look symmetrical and stuff like that. Here we go, press. Let's work on this one here. Okay, this one's here. Let me just keep it in place. Add a drop of glue here, and I'm gonna try to keep them separate. I don't want to have the frames like, you know, attached to each other, so I am not adding the glue onto the green frame. I am adding it to the little polka dot paper. So just so you keep that in mind, I want to keep the frames separate. I want to separate them a little bit once I glue them in place. So a little bit of glue, because you want to add some dimension to between this, and I think it's going to help you to layer the pictures and the flowers. Okay, I have my frame here. So let's clean this up, put this away for a little bit, and let's talk about this now. So I'm going to take away the washi tape because we don't need it. Like I said, sometimes I have ideas and I know what's going to look like in my brain, and it's translating them when it becomes a little bit on the complicated side. So I like that. I like this. Just a matter of cleaning this up. See, this line is a little bit crooked. So let's add a little bit of glue. Here, here, here. Where is this line? Not giving me a straight line. Okay, there we go. Because in the world, not all the squares are created equal. There you go, that's why. So I have to make sure that for some reason, like I told you, ish, okay? There we go, press there. Okay, so don't do what I'm doing. Here, 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 here. This one is moved for some reason. I think when I glued it, I moved it by accident. So I'm just going to try to work on this. Here we go. So I'm gonna just lift it up a bit. Okay, there we go. Keep it in place there. Let's add some glue. Right there. And we're gonna press here. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna keep for 2 seconds, we're gonna press it so the glue dries, and now it's straight. Okay, so now let's work on these edges. Thinking I can actually probably, let's see, let's cut the excess first. Might work actually. I'm just following the cut underneath of the thing, of the edger. So I'm just following the natural line of the edger. So if it helps you that way better. Oh, let's see this part here. Here we go. Okay, let's clean up the table. Means throw it on the floor. Oh God, yeah, much better. Okay, how is that? Okay, I like that much better now. So let's move this in place. I like it. I like the fact that there's 2 frames. I think if you add a little bit of foam adhesive, it is gonna help it even better. So here we go into the white cardstock. Like I told you, this is gonna be the part that's gonna take you the longest. So pick the edges that like you don't like that much. Like I'm telling you right now, I don't like this edge here. So I know that that's one of the edges that I want to hide. Not the edge, the seam. Okay, so I know that I'm probably gonna have to move my frame a little bit higher than center. Okay, because then I know that this part here, it's not going to be like, you know, That nice. So I know that I want my pictures. And I have two. They're not the same. They're like a sequence of 7. That's how many we need to have like one good picture, but I had 2. And those are my son, my daughter, and my baby, of course, AKA the dog. So here we go. I want my pictures. Remember, I don't like that edge down there. So I'm gonna put it in the part that I want to camouflage. So I'm gonna put it down here. And you can use a 4x6 for this instead. So then I know something's gonna go there and it's gonna hide that edge. Okay, so we have it. Now let's center, we're gonna glue this one in place. This green one is gonna go, like, it's gonna stay there. One of the things I'm gonna use for now is just a little bit of tape, not lots. Because I wanna layer pieces in between these frames, okay? So I'm gonna tell you more or less where this is gonna sit. It's going to sit at around, this is what? Let's use the ruler so you see it. Around 1 inch from each side, okay? From the tip of the edge, so, and then around, let's see, around 3/4 of an inch, half, something like that at the top, a little bit extra at the bottom. So I'm gonna take this frame, remember it's one single piece. I'm gonna go here, lift it carefully, and a little bit of tape, so pieces flying. Here we go. So let's lift it up. A little bit of tape just to keep it in place. Don't add that much because you're gonna need to lift up edges and stuff like that to add the next, your flowers and your embellishments. So just a little bit to keep it in place while we work the rest of this. And you can actually back this too with a different color, like back the frame with a color cardstock if you want to, like just the square here. I'm not going to, but you could, or use pattern paper. So there we go, that's in place. And then I'm thinking to add this, I can add some foam adhesive, which is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I have foam adhesive right here. If I can only put it straight, not crooked, it will work even better. And I have this roll here, so I think it's from 3L, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I'm gonna put it to the thicker part of the frame, just gonna give it some dimension. That means that the picture is gonna sit a little bit higher. If you don't like dimension, you want your things to go flat, you don't need to add the foam adhesive, that's just personal choice. So it's nice, it's not, primordial. Is that the right word? Yeah. That, like I said, I'm gonna be on the loopy side today. So there we go. You see the little shadow that it creates? Let's just find the right way. I like that. I like the little shadow. Okay. Let's just add some interest to the page. There you go. Okay. And it just separates the frames. It actually brings, like I said, it makes it like a little bit nicer on the background. Okay. And that's going to help you camouflage the bottom too, just by adding that dimension. Then my pictures are going to sit right there. So you see what this is going now. Okay. Let's set this aside. Background is done. Let's work on the embellishment. For that, I am using, this is the Floral Trio. I'm using the entire suite today. So I have the hot foil plate. I have the stencil. And I'm saying I have it, but it's on the side here. I have the die and the stamp. So I'm using all of it today. So I'm going to head outside of the camera and I'm going to show you. I think you saw it at the beginning. And I actually had foil my, my plate quite a few times, 6 times. I'm not going to use the 6 of them. I just like having extras. Okay. And I did also some envelope. And I used two different types of foil. I use this is champagne. And I use aura. Because it gives you like that kind of rainbow effect. Okay. So I'm going to color it. I foiled and I cut ahead of time. Because it's called live. So I need to make sure that I use, the time to show you all of this. So I did that because I have this. You don't need to do it. It helps me with this. So I have a stamp wheel. It's going to help me with the coloring part of it. If you have one, good for you. Do you need it? No, you don't. It's just, it helps. So It's a little bit wet because I had like, ink. So I'm going to, this is stencil number 1, and it's the one that is going to color the flowers. So why am I bringing my stamp wheel? Because it's going to keep all of this in place. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up. And I'm going to tell you what colors of inks I used and everything. It has a polymer base that kind of sticks to the base. It's just a matter of lining it up, press, and it's done. So I used, for some of my flowers, I used ballet slipper, sparkling rose, and a little bit of bubble gum. For the other ones, I used coral reef and passion fruit. And the other one, I used peach fuzz with a little bit of coral reef. So I'm going to use that one again. So I'm going to start with some peach fuzz. And I do have the new brushes. I haven't broke them in, so I'm going to use my old ones. Okay, so a little bit. So I'm just going to use the stencil, and I'm going to go lightly with it. So the first one is going to color your flowers, literally. I'm using peach fuzz because I want to stay in those colors of pink and kind of coral, like really warm, to kind of offset that sagey background and all that white. So I'm just going to add it here. And I'm just going to. And if you pre-cut your like foil pieces like I did, you can use also like, the grid, what do you call it? The mat that you use for your Cricut or for your silhouette. You need something sticky. This is pretty much what the polymer base of this does. Keeps it in place. But it can create kind of a seal, which I love because nothing moves. So for the live, you're going to see me pull this out a little bit more. Kind of, it's not that it's cool. It's just, you're going to see. So nothing's moved and everything is in place. It's stuck. But it comes out easily. So first thing first, now we're going to stencil number 2, which is the one that's going to give you a little bit more of the details. So there's a little bit of drops of water because, of course, I went to clean before, I came live. So we're going to line it up. And this is super simple to line up. Press here. That creates the seal. And I'm going to use a little bit of coral reef for this. I want to bring some of I don't want to make it super orange. I want to get to that in-between tone. Let me get that brush. I think I have it here. I think it's this one. So lightly with it. Okay. There we go. Lightly. And I'm going to show you in 2 seconds. It's going to give a little bit of the kind of that orangey, corally tone to the flowers, which is what I'm looking for. Something in between the coral and something in between the pink. So I thought a combination of these two is the color that I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. See, the satisfaction of lifting that up for some reason. Let's go with the leaves. Okay, stencil number 3 has the leaves. It's just a matter of setting them up. Okay, here we go. Press. Like I told you, I love this thing. And for my leaves, I am using actually fresh pear, which is kind of gives me that sagey tone that I'm looking for. So heavy, towards the bottom of the leaf or whatever's closer to the flower. Think about adding some shadows and then kind of soften the pressure of your brush as you walk outside to the leaf. That's my preference. Completely up to you if you want to do it that way or not. But it's super simple. Just the ink makes all the work. All you need is a brush. You can use the Pink Fresh Studio ones. Like I said, I have them. I haven't broken them in yet. And I bought 2 sets of each. Well, actually, I got one and then I bought the second one because one I'm going to use, 2 I'm going to keep, and I might need another one because I just realized that I need more colors. So I got to talk to Heather about it. So here we go. You're going to see, I have my first stencil. Don't you love the satisfaction of just hearing that thing kind of stuck there? You don't have to use hold it with your finger or use washi tape. That's one of the reasons why I like this little contraption. So if you have one, yay for you. If you don't have one, there's ways around it too. Okay, so I'm going to use olive to like, create the stem. So I just want something a little bit deeper in green. There we go. Honestly, it makes it so much easier than having to wash it deep and stuff like that. Okay, I have my flowers. Let me put my inks away and everything away here. Take this out. It will be washed after, so let's throw it in a container on this side there. And this actually just lifts up. It's sticky. And we put it away. There we go. So, where did I put those? You see? Here we go. So I have my little peach fuzz and coral reef. I have them here. I have my pink ones here, ballet slipper and sparkling rose and a little bit of bubble gum. I have them here. And I have my peach fuzz, my coral reef with a little bit of passion fruit here. So you see it's still within like the oranges and pinks. I also foiled some vellum because I want to use this as kind of behind it a bit, okay? And I also stamped, like I said, I'm going to use the entire suit, okay? Sweet suit, I can like the sentiment here, it says there's always a reason to celebrate. So I used that. I stamped it with the detailed black ink on white cardstock, the same one that I used for the foiling. Hammer mill, 100-pound color cover copy. Is that what it is? I'm sure I messed it up. And I cut another one. We're going to go ahead and back them out. I just need one, but just in case, I just wanted the sentiment. I thought, okay, I think we've talked about this before, but just in case, you haven't been here before, is that my kids, well, they're not kids no more. They're 22 and 20, and the dog is 12, going to be 13, sorry. He's the only one that doesn't have the attitude. The other ones do. So as a present, because my kids are not big in buying presents, trust me, they're not. I asked them to let me take pictures of them for the day. So they already know, so there is, during the week, if they see a camera or a phone coming by, they'll make faces. There's pictures of hands, feet, backs, running and stuff like that. On Mother's Day, I have a lot of pictures of beautiful faces, and that's what I take serious of them. So out of the 8 or 9, one will work. So I have all my pieces ready here. Let's go back to the layout. Okay, you see, like I said, it's gonna take a little bit of work ahead of time. Okay, but then everything is gonna be, it's gonna run pretty quick. So my pictures, if you have a 4x6, you can put it in the center. You can 4x6 like that. You can go just 3x4. I want to use the two of them, kind of overlap them a bit. Right there. So you see how this is going? Like I said, we're going to do a little bit of work ahead and then everything will run kind of smooth. So one of the things that everything that I am using today is in the description of this video, just in case you're wondering what I'm using. I'm trying to clean up my table as we go. I pulled out a few pieces of ephemera here. I have the chrysanthemum ephemera, and I also have, and I just realized that it's sold out, which is, I'm not going to use much of it, but just it has the same colors that I'm using. And I'm also going to use a bit of the Spring Vibes ephemera. I have the cardstock stickers from Spring Vibes and Flower Market, but I'm going to pull this first. And these are the journaling bits from Spring Vibes. And I'm actually going to use this as a layer behind my picture. You can use pattern paper if you want to. I just like the idea of this. I love these little edges, just pieces that you can layer. So you see, I kind of like that there. And I'm okay if it overlaps a bit. So I'm going to do the smart thing. A pair of scissors. You're not going to see this. It's going to be behind my picture. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this because I know that this I can use. we have talked about, if you have never seen baby, if you have never been here before, I am a person that loves to work with paper, but I want the paper to work for me, not like, be stressed about it. So if I have to cut ephemera, if I have to cut die cuts, if I have to cut anything to make it work for me, I'm all pro with that. Okay, so here we go. See, this little soft edge here is already gonna add to the layering down here. Just a little bit of extra. You wanna create the difference. I thought for this one, and it's not that I'm not going to use this. I am going to use them. I'm not going to. It needs a little bit of paper too. So I'm going to go into my little stash of paper. I have it right next to me. And I already put the two collections together here because we're working with pieces left over now. I have a little bit of pink. This is from Spring Vibes, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, polka dot paper. So I'm going to just add a little bit of paper. Remember, this is going to go at the top, so I don't want to cover it. So just kind of a layer behind it. So I'm just going to see what is better. There we go. So I'm going to frame my picture with this. I never add glue, so just you see it. To the edges, I keep it towards the center so that I can able to, tuck things in and out. Which you're going to see me do here. I have my guillotine here. Clean up stuff so my table is not overcrowded. There you go. Just like around an eighth of an inch extra on the picture, whichever you use. I just think because I have all the white on the back, I need something to make the pictures pop a little bit more. That's why I'm framing them. Okay, remember how I said you don't need to add. So I'm kind of layer them down there, just like that. You're gonna see, this is gonna sit right here. They don't have to be straight. I kind of like them crooked like that. There you go. So as much as I'm tempted to glue this, I am going to deal with this right now. Because this is gonna sit right here, it needs to be popped up a little bit. Remember, I'm adding dimension here. So I'm going to add dimension to my picture, not a lot, but to the area over here where I know that it's going to be inside of the frame. Okay, so you see it. See, now it's just making it flat. I need another piece. Just gonna probably move this higher. Perfect. And then it's another one here. There we go. See right now? And let me drink some water so I don't cough on you guys. Sorry about that. I feel like, when you feel your neck, like your throat that is itchy. That's me right now. So there we go. So now let's bring the embellishments. Remember how I said, you're gonna camouflage that. So, and this was one of the reasons why I didn't glue the one frame to the other one. Okay, right there. Yeah. Where is this? Always a reason to celebrate. Already it's doing the work for us. Okay, so we're gonna make sure that this does the work for us. Now we're gonna get some of this one here again. Let's see where it's gonna look better there. Or do we want to cluster it? No, that's what we have the vellum for. Okay, the vellum is gonna help us with the layering here. So nothing is glued. Remember, like I said. Move it high, move it to the center. We can put it here too on top. Maybe on top will be better. Much better. So let's move this a bit more here. And I'm gonna secure it on camera, don't worry. Not like, fully, but a little bit there. I like that there. And I keep moving it with my own fingers. But you see what's looking. So I'm gonna probably trim some of that vellum, white waste the rest. And I know that I want that there. See, that already is looking nice. There we go. I'm gonna move this a little bit towards center, a little bit more, a little bit higher. So it goes a little bit more towards the center. So I like that. Let's secure this part now. So we know where everything's gonna sit. Are you gonna see this flower? No. Are you gonna see half of this? No. So let's do the smart thing. Don't need to, like, don't waste your pieces. I know that Kathleen probably agrees with me on this, because I know that she likes to keep pieces together too. And okay, so here, I want to make sure that it goes to the edge. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and pull the tape from here, because I know this edge is going to go sit flat right there. Okay, wait, don't glue yet. Making sure that it's the right edge. There we go. Took 1 second of my breathing right there. I want this here. Let me pull out the pages, the pieces. Right there, my pictures are going to sit right here. I like that better. A little bit towards the top. I am not going to cut it. I'm going to put it right there. So it's going to need some foam adhesive behind it, because remember, I need to make sure that it's at the same level. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but sure, I agree with all of you guys. So let's go ahead and secure our pictures. I'm trying to read. Okay, so like I said, towards the center, a little bit higher. There we go. This one is going to sit right there. I want this right there. I love this already. Okay. It needs something over here. Like, think of a visual triangle. I think I'm going to need something else over here. So I was thinking maybe one of this, just like that. See, or maybe kind of coming. That's what I haven't glued yet, my frames, because I knew that I was going to play with some ideas here. Thinking that I can put it there and then just cut right at the edge. We can do that, but I'm kind of liking it on top. You know why I like it on top? Because it camouflages my edges. So I'll probably go again like that. And I'm going to bring the piece left over from, from the vellum, kind of layer it down there. I like that. Okay. So we know this is going to sit here. Let's go ahead. You see, and that because the flower is going to be there, it's going to camouflage that. I'm okay with that. I'm going to put this one in between here. Okay, so let's peel the edge here. We know this is going to sit right there. Let's take the little piece here. Kind of stick it right there. There we go. Now we're going to take this piece. Just a matter of playing with this. Kind of like it like this. I like that. Okay. So foam adhesive, and you guys know I'm going to put something to hold it in place. I'll secure everything outside of the camera. If you guys don't want to spend the hour looking at me securing all of this. I overfoiled a lot of flowers. You're not going to need that many. Just by looking at it. And I need some of this pink just to, like, kind of bring some of this pink. Cut this die cut. So I'm thinking that I'm going to do, again, make it work for you. I'm going to go ahead and trim this right here. At the same time, when you cut it, make sure, like, it makes sense when you're cutting it. So don't just go and cut it. So I like this, something that I may be able to layer this down here. Just to bring more of that pink. Just a little hint of the pink. There we go. I like that. So a little bit of foam adhesive in between here, just to separate the pieces. Go there. That is going to separate the pieces nicely. Let me see something not so high. Here. Oh, stuck to my nail. Which reminds me. Oh, God, it doesn't. Okay, there we go. Okay, so brings a little bit of the pink down there. The rest that I have, I think I want to actually kind of stuck it down here. I don't want to overdo with the flowers either, but I think that's all it's gonna need. Yep, it's gonna go down there. Okay, we're gonna go ahead, trim some of this here, and that's all it's gonna need for flowers. Even though I created like 1,000 of them, you don't need that many. Just if you see it in a project coming soon, there you go. I created it here. Okay, so in case you're wondering how you did the flowers, I'm gonna put it there. Go back to the live. I did it there. Okay, so let me just secure this. I am going to, you know what I forgot to do? Secure this edge. There we go. And I think I forgot to secure this edge too. So there we go. Done. It needs a little bit of vellum, like kind of, again, let's trim this up. Just trying to see where does it need it. I don't want to overdo this. I like this, but it needs a little piece. So again, let's go ahead and be smart. And I probably will use like 1,000 of them, like vellum ones. Save that piece. I think I want to add it like, let me see if I just looking at it going here. No, it's too much. I think it needs to be here. It needs to be there. And that's all it's going to take. Nothing more. Because it's going to overwhelm the page anyway. So there we go. Add a bit of foam adhesive there. Layout is not done, but you can see that it's pretty much done. Okay. So a little bit of glue here. I'm going to secure it down here. And it's not my title, but it's going to kind of think of the subtitle situation. You don't have the pictures being straight. I can tell you, if I wouldn't make them smaller, I probably would have put them straight, but I don't mind this. I don't mind it. This will be the layout that stays with me. I have another one that I made one, like, one for my son of this. It doesn't have flowers. There's a lot of like, different things on it. So let's go into the ephemera. There's like here the word perfect, which I thought it was, I think I want to put it there. That's going to be probably my title. And the word day is going to go underneath because, again, Mother's Day should be the perfect day. Mother's Day should be every day of the year. Not in my house. I had, oh my God, I always tell you stories, and I'm going to tell you this story because yesterday I laughed. I didn't have to laugh. I didn't have to be upset. I don't know. It's just my kids are weird, and that, of course, I'm the mother. What do you guys expect? So my daughter's here and I see her getting ready to go out with a boyfriend, which is okay. She goes out every Wednesday because that's the day that she has off work. They go out a lot, so fine. And then all of a sudden she comes, she goes, oh, I'm going to leave, but how old are you? I'm like, huh? Like, I'm your mother. Don't you know your mother's age? She's like, how old are you? I'm like, why? Because my Joshua, which is my son, he wants to know. I'm like, so your brother texted you to ask me instead of your brother asking me. And why do I have to tell you how old I am? You should know that. Like, like, hello. And then, of course, dinner time, I had to, make a comment about it. So I'm like, like, why do you need to know my age? Like, and then we went into, like, the rabbit hole, like, Gabby, because that's my daughter's name, Gabrielle. How can you go and tell mommy that I asked you for the age? You're not. And then we went down, like, oh, my God. To the point that my husband goes, by this time, he blamed it on me. He goes, it's your fault because you brought it up. I'm going to start embellishing with the piece of paper, And he goes, and you two winners, you should know your mother's age and you should know you never asked a woman that. And it went just, like I said, it was just, perfect dinner time. So a little bit of circles we're going to add here. We're going to have to add a few more. And then I love this joy. Probably going to add it over here. And there's another one that I like here that has it's kind of a little bit of the, or no, I want a sentiment. Chase your dreams. It's not that my kids need it. They're both doing that, but this would probably go to my daughter's album. So supposedly she is gonna take another Shibana boyfriend. She is gonna take another one. I'm gonna put it down here. So kind of create the diagonal line effect. Okay. Trying to finish this before you guys go, and we're actually gonna finish this. Let's see, what else do we need? We need something over here. So I'm just looking at, you know, I see a piece that says good times here. And you have a winner, Becky Gregory. You're the winner of the $15 gift certificate. Congratulations. You said, well, let us know what you used it on. And I like that. I'm gonna add the word they here. I don't have the office here, but I'm gonna add it there. And I think that's about it. I'm gonna walk away from this. Do I need to add more bling? Do I need to add some glitter? Maybe some gold drops. I don't know. I'm gonna walk away. So if you see a little bit, like, you know, that changes in the end result, it might be some pearls or something like that, but nothing else. I don't think it needs anything else. I love what this looks like. I agree with some people that say the picture's a little bit crooked for my taste. Yes, they are, but they are big. So I needed to put them like that so I can like, kind of shrink them out a little bit more. But I hope you like it. As always, if you have questions, let us know. Okay, so I'm gonna flip the camera so I can see you. I'm gonna clean up my mess a little bit here so you guys can see it. But you see, like, it doesn't take a lot to make a page. Okay, so let me flip the camera so I can see you guys. I don't have snot on my face. That's the main thing. There you go. So I can see you guys. Thank you so much, you know, for being here. Don't forget that this Saturday, Jeff is live at 11 o'clock Eastern time or 11 o'clock Central time. I'm not so sure, but make sure you check it out. As always, you know, if you have any questions, let us know. Thank you for being here. Next week, Kathleen will be here, you know, for a new scrapbooking live. So make sure you check it out and just pay attention because the new collections are coming up. As always, thank you so much, Heather, for being like, you know, the helper that we all need. And I'll be adding pictures of that in a little bit. So thank you all so much. And I'll see you next week, or actually in 2 weeks. Take care, guys. Okay, there you go. See, before I say bye, Heather corrected. Noon Central time for the live with Jeff. So that means 1 o'clock here. So before I go, now I go. Bye, guys.